So, Twinbreaker. Where do I start? Well, I'm a fan of Colin Moriarty. I listen to the Sacred Symbols podcast weekly, and I find him and Chris entertaining, and the podcast is informative for all the PlayStation news. When I saw the trailer for Twinbreaker with the voiceover, I was excited about the game.
Two unlikely heroes depart on an epic adventure, the likes of which few have ever seen before.
You put a story in a brick-breaking game?
That's right, yo. Story, boss battles, power-ups, guns, and two handsome protagonists.
It looked fun and tongue-in-cheek and reflected their personalities. I expected this would be a blockbreaker game, but with a humorous story and with loads of references from the podcast. While it did have some references to the podcast, the story wasn't fun. At all. I hate to slam the game too much, but I was really bored by the story. The intro cutscene felt so long when it could have been summarized to 1 or 2 screens. A ship goes missing, a mysterious wormhole appears near Earth, and 2 pilots go investigate. That's it. The trailer actually summarizes it really well in about 10 seconds. That's all they needed. There are cutscenes throughout the game, but it's all so serious and dry. Based on the trailer, I was hoping for a game that was light-hearted and understood itself, but that's unfortunately not Twinbreaker. From a gameplay perspective, I do need to commend the game for doing something new with the blockbreaker genre. Rather than having 1 paddle to hit the ball and break blocks, you have 2 to control at first, and then 4. The analog sticks move the paddles, and for the first 10 levels they're at the bottom of the screen, and you move them left and right, with each one looking after one half of the screen. For the second set of 10 levels, the paddles are on the sides of the screen, and you move them up and down. And then for the next 10 levels, you have paddles at the sides and bottom of the screen, and you control them with the analog sticks, moving the bottom ones left and right, and the side ones up and down. There are 40 levels in the story in total, and the final 10 are a combination of the 3 types of levels. There are boss battles every 10th stage, which are a lot easier than the stages themselves. Trying to hit that last block on the screen can be a pain, but the bosses were so big that the balls would just hit them easily. I think the bosses would have been more challenging if they were actually smaller. You have 3 lives, and if you lose them, you can buy an extra life which costs 100 points, and points are earned by hitting and destroying the blocks. There are also power-ups and negative items, or enemies, that drop too when you hit a block. Some of the power-ups were very useful, like being able to shoot bullets and destroy the blocks without having to hit them with the ball. Of the different types of stages, I didn't enjoy the ones with the paddles on the bottom of the screen and the sides. It's meant to be challenging, I get that, but my coordination is clearly not good enough for this type of level, and so I found it stressful. I don't mind a challenge in a game, but this just felt unnatural to me. The other stages were fine to play, and the game did get difficult at times, but I didn't find it fun. I think this is partly my fault. I was excited and had high expectations, but in the end it's just a blockbreaker game, with a novel control mechanic to be fair, but still just a blockbreaker game. Each level gives you a 3-minute timer, and when the time is up you can choose to move on to the next level with an E grade. This happened to me 3 times, and for 2 of the times I just went to the next level because I didn't want to have to replay those levels. I finished all 40 levels in around 1 hour 45 minutes, but if you want to get the platinum you'll be playing much longer. There are also minigames which I tried out, but they didn't hold my attention either. There's a shooting one, but bullets fire so slowly it didn't feel great to play. There's a boss rush mode. There's a mode where you need to move around and collect falling coins. There were some good ideas, but they just all felt slow and I just felt bored. I don't want to keep complaining about the game. I hate putting down games made by indie devs, and I like Lilymo's previous outputs. Keep your expectations in check and you may enjoy this more than me. I was hoping for a game that was fun with random references from Colin and Chris's podcast. Unfortunately, Twinbreaker was not that. Maybe if they hadn't used their likenesses in the game or trailer, and just made it its own thing, my expectations would have been better in check. But when it comes down to it, it's just an old school blockbreaker game that takes itself too seriously. I do appreciate though that this has been brought to Vita. I don't think it's worth buying at full price, but if it ever goes on sale and you're curious, then maybe pick it up and give it a try. So guys, who's planning to pick up Twinbreaker? Leave a comment below, and as always, thanks for watching.